Hey everybody, gonna do, sorry I'm so close, do a quick review on 2018 Honda Odyssey EX. My wife and I traded in our Nissan Rogue for this Honda Odyssey. We're expecting our third child, so we decided to go to the van route. Just strictly out of convenience, our three children are all going to be in full car seats, so we felt like we really didn't have an option. I don't think anybody walks out to their van and woohoo, you know, I'm driving a minivan, this thing's awesome. It's just a necessity, and it's practical, so that's what we did. I just wanted to take the time here to show you a few things around it. Maybe somebody's contemplating a purchase. Maybe this review will be helpful, kind of like a review walk around. I've tried to keep my channel along those lines. I was geared, towards tools. I really wanted to review tools and my experiences with tools, because I look on YouTube before I purchase something, or even just Google a review, and it helps out. So I'm like, why can't I just help other people out too, with stuff that I buy? Maybe they're looking at the same thing. So do what I can. So here we go. 2018 EX Honda Odyssey. I'm going to start with showing you the underneath, and then we'll hop in the car in case anybody wants to see underneath. Not a lot of people get to before they buy it, but I'll do what I can here. I'm not super familiar with it quite yet. I haven't had to do any work to it other than I just put 2 snow tires on it, and there is some slush and snow caked up underneath, so don't think there's something goofy underneath it, but there definitely is snow and ice packed in here. It's 6 degrees outside right now, so yeah, let's take a little walk around. So nice skid plate underneath here. You got the oil pan in case anybody wants to change their own oil. It says it right there. Filter's tucked up right there. You can see it. Aluminum lower control arms, which is kind of nice in my opinion. They tend to be more expensive to replace, but they don't get rusty. So kind of just grazing over it here. I don't see the spare tire underneath, so I'm going to assume it's inside this bucket right here. I haven't looked for it. I know, I'm a mechanic, and I don't know where my spare tire is. I don't get too worried about stuff like that. I'll figure it out. Gas tank. Rear end. Got some shields right there with some snow and slush on it. Kind of blocking everything. Got some aluminum rear control arms. Some bump stops, brakes. You can see on the caliper there, that's an electronic control parking brake, or emergency brake as a lot of people like to reference it. But that's pretty much it. I might undercoat it, fluid film it for next winter. I'm planning on keeping this one for a while. We only had our Rogue SV for not even 4 years. So, I said to the wife, we're going to keep this one a bit. So, payment's high enough. Alright, I'm going to lower it down and show you the interior. The video might get a little fuzzy here, but this lift works really hard. Ugh. Sorry about the delay here, but as you can imagine, it takes a few seconds to get a car off a lift. I would have stopped the video and started it again, but I don't have a video editor. I just upload it right off my cell phone to YouTube, so this is how I video. Sorry. old man lift. So the EX models, we didn't buy an LX because my wife really wanted the power doors. So these you can operate with a remote control transmitter. Kids' car seats. They'll go in the back in the third row, which is folded down now. Once the new baby comes next month. While I'm standing here, I'm really going to show you what sold this on this van. So this has now got a middle seat, which is removable. So you essentially have 2 bucket seats. So that seat I'm going to take out, throw in storage. Now what happens with these seats right here, right where my hand is, you pull this lever and these seats are on a track. They slide back and forth. Both sides do that. Now what we're going to do is slide the seat over here as long as the kids don't fight. And I know they probably will. We're going to slide them to one side. Then we're going to have full access from one door to the back seat. I actually think we might end up putting these two, because the ages are 4 and 2.5. We're going to have them in the third row and then the newborn up here. So fighting may not be an issue, but we'll have full access. So that was a really cool feature we liked about it. Again, both seats slide on a track. They lock in place. These seats will, I believe, flip forward, but with this track, there's no need to. And they do go back and forth as far as setting your position. There's a handle underneath the bottom, so it slides back and forth. My wife bought these little seat covers for the back for feet. This interior is a little bit lighter color. Got the door switch here for the power. I'm going ahead and close it. We'll walk around. Same thing with this door. So the LX models, I was told, doesn't have the power doors. There's other features that I'll show you inside that it don't have. So here's the other seat that'll go back and forth. So just a grab lever like a normal seat where you adjust the position like a front driver seat. Another kick cover for the back of this one. It does have rear climate control in this van. So you can set your temperature for your children or anybody riding in back. Which is kind of nice because I don't always like to be so warm. Go ahead and close this up. So these doors are both controllable by a remote control. Your key fob transmitter, gas tank, capless. Ford's been doing that for a while. Apparently Honda is too. So this rear hatch is supposed to be powered, but for some reason I've been having trouble with it. We got to get it looked at. I might even look at it by myself with a scan tool. So these buckets back here for storage, it doesn't look deep. It's hard in the video, but those are pretty deep. That was another thing that was a huge push for us, is double stroller, storage, groceries, shopping, traveling. These seats are super easy to move. If anybody had like a stow and go type style like the Caravans had, this is a similar idea. Power outlet, side buckets, speakers, seat belt. These do have the rear anchors for kids, child seats. I'm going to leave these folded down for now. Like I said, this is power, but the weird thing is there's not a power button to close it, which I would assume should be right there. So, and there's not one on the dash, so it's really weird. That's one thing that threw me off after we bought it. Got the rear view camera here. Whoop, see, I'm having trouble with it shutting too. This van doesn't even have 1,000 miles on it yet. It's got about 900. So your keyless entry push button right here. If you have your transmitter on you, your key fob. If it's on you, you push that button. You don't have to push the buttons to unlock it. Let's go ahead and sit inside here. So push button start, if nobody's familiar with that, a lot of cars are going to that now. So as long as your key fob, a registered key fob, which it looks like this here, as long as this is in the car, you can use your push button start. So the EX models also come with remote start, which is this guy here. And you can see if you press and hold that button for the rear hatch, it's supposed to be power. And like I said, I'm having trouble with it, so I got to get it looked at. But that's your key fob. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up here. So the screen's pretty cool. Got a lot of features on here. I haven't played around with it a whole lot other than
make life a little easier.
Setting the clock and stuff. You hit the home key, it's all touch screen. You know, you've got a few options in here of whatever you can do. Sirius, I got the free subscription. You can connect your iPod or your iPhone, sorry, and your Android device to this. I haven't done it to try to really grasp all the features. I'm not really into all that. Other people may be, but I'm not going to spend the time to figure it out. Climate control, you know, you hit your climate control. You can adjust it all here, touch screen if you like, or just use the arrows. So the EX model also has heated seats. My wife loves that. It's fantastic. I enjoy it as well. Not a necessity for me, but it is nice to have. It gets cold here for, you know, 6 months out of the year. It's nice to use. Feels good on your back. Glove box, you know, your typical stuff that you would expect to see. You know, your map lights, your visors. Here's what the display looks like. 19 miles a gallon, you know, depending on where you are. So we let this run a lot and warm up for the kids, and so it's not cold. So other people may be better than what we're doing with it. So it's got Bluetooth for your phone, as most cars are going to have. You know, that's obvious stuff, but cruise control. So this button here, I didn't know what it was until I started using it. So if you push that button on, you're going to see it come on the dash here. You can see that pop up. So what that is, I believe it's called like a lane departure. There's probably a more technical term from Honda. So what that does, and again, I don't know if it works 100% on snow-covered roads. So what that does is it's going to keep you between the lines. So if you have that button on, you're cruising down the highway, and you start veering close to the white or yellow line. So what the steering wheel does is it kind of does one of these. Kind of straightens you back out. It doesn't autopilot, so it's not an autopilot, but it'll bump you back. And you end up going too close to the yellow line, then it'll bump you back to the white line. So that's a cool feature for, you know, somebody that's driving drowsy or not paying attention. Whatever it may be, that's also a cool feature. My wife doesn't use it and I don't use it. I just thought it was cool. You know, I had my hands off the steering wheel going down the highway. I was kind of letting it do its own thing. I had my hands very close, so I wouldn't recommend just driving down the road and hands in your pockets, take a snooze. So that's another feature that I'm not used to. We're going to see all that progression in technology along those lines. So definitely be open to that stuff. What else am I missing here? Oh, so it's got a blind spot warning on the mirrors here. So right here, these guys, if there's somebody in your blind spot, they light up. Whether you're trying to turn or not, they light up to tell you somebody's in your blind spot. If your directional's on and somebody's in your blind spot, they'll beep. Just to let you know, hey, don't turn over. This also has adaptive cruise control. So basically what that does, if you set your cruise control to 65, you're cruising down the highway and you're approaching somebody in front of you and you don't change lanes, the vehicle itself is going to adjust your speed accordingly to maintain safe distance in front of the car. Once that object is gone, the vehicle's gone, it'll increase the speed again, or if you change lanes, it'll increase speed. So that's another cool feature, and I believe this one, like the Volvos, and I'm not sure if any other manufacturer does it, if you approach a car too quickly and you haven't hit your brakes, it's going to flash hit the brakes, and it may even apply the brakes for you. I haven't investigated that too much, but I did come close to a car when we first got it, and it did flash brake on the monitor up here. But it didn't try to apply the brakes, to my knowledge. So, let me just see. Go in here. So you've got, your Bluetooth, all the apps. I haven't even been in here. Android. We got Android phones. Front. So you got your rear climate too, so you can adjust that right here. You can do it in the back seat. Nice little storage down in here. Cup holders. My lottery ticket. I didn't win. Little cubby here. Some more cup holders. That's pretty much it. My wife enjoys driving it, surprisingly, for a van. She doesn't mind it at all. So if you're sitting in the car and want to open the doors, the side doors, you got them right here as long as the switch is on. Your park and brake. Electronic park and brake. The rear side doors roll up and down as well. And the other cool thing that I didn't know these had until after we bought it were these vent shades right here. So you don't have to have them on all the time. They just kind of sit down in the door right there with a little handle sticking out. And if you want to put them in, you can pull them up, clip them in, and block the shade. Or block the sun. It's really cool. I didn't even realize they had them. I'm like, holy cow. Windows are auto up, auto down. All of them. Trying to think of anything else that might be useful to somebody thinking about purchasing. Like I said, the only thing I wish this had is a button for opening the trunk by power. It just doesn't make any sense. The only way to do it is on the transmitter. I think that's one flaw of this car so far that I found in the short time that we've owned it. Kind of crazy to me to not make a button inside the car or a push button on the tailgate to close it by power. There's a paddle shift on the back, which I'll never use. It's not a race car. You can shift up or down manually if you want. There's also an eco mode to put it in, and there's a snow mode. So if you hit this button twice, like you're in drive. So it's in drive, and I'm just going to hit the button again. So that's sport, and then there's supposed to be a snow. That might be snow mode. Again, I don't drive this car a lot. I'm pretty sure that's snow mode. I could be totally wrong, but that's what the sales guy pitched my wife. So that's what I'm going on. To me, that'd be sport, but she's like, no, it's snow mode. Oh, Jesus, I'll get this all messed up and she'll be all upset with me. Well, folks, I don't know what else to show you. Radio. Phone. So far the Bluetooth sounds well. It hooked up to our phones really well. It's synced together. No issues there. This does not have a sunroof. I think the Touring might have one. Rear climate control. Blah, blah, blah. Both sides have the sunshade, as you can see. But that's it, folks. One thing to keep in mind is this is coming with 18-inch tires. Think about that. Oh, here's the rear view camera. So you can have different views of the camera. Totally forgot about that. Camera's really nice. I'm on some snow. I go kick that out of the tire. Camera's really nice. My wife said, yep, definitely got to have that going forward. I'm not going without it now that I've had one. So, there you have it. 2018 Honda Odyssey. As you can see, I wasn't kidding about the temperature. It's a little warmer in the shop, but 8 degrees. Once I go outside, that'll drop. And this is the, well, it's freaking dark, but down in between the seats, that's the access to the spare tire and tools. But if you have any questions about it, or anything else that might be helpful for your purchase, just comment, and I'll try to get back to you and let you know what I think and anything else I can help with.